So I think that, we keep things in perspective. We're probably a little bit ahead of where we might have been or people might have thought we'd be at this stage of the season. We still got a lot of work to do, and it's going to be very difficult. You can lose every game you play in this league. That's the bad news. The good news is I think you can win every game you can play in this league. But I think that's mostly what I say, although I will say, Larry Bird is a pretty great player. He had one season he averaged about 30 points and 15 rebounds a game, but that season he had like 10 bad games. He scored about 8 points and shot about 20% in those 10 games. And the point I guess I'm trying to make is I don't think you can judge people, players, coaches, on a little segment like this. When you start judging people on a little segment, I think you're really on just very poor journalistic grounds. Because I think that there's some coaches I've beaten in their Hall of Fame that I've beat them 80% of the time. And you're going to look at a couple coaches that have beaten me. I coached against Rick Pitino, was at Providence 5 times, and once at Kentucky. We were 6-0 against him. One of his teams went to the Final Four. We beat him 3 times. So now we're going to all of a sudden put in the paper that I lost 6 straight to Rick Pitino. Why don't we put in I beat him 6 straight? Go ahead. That's really good. Once you keep doing that, that's really good. I really appreciate that. And you want to talk about personal? Yeah, it's personal. When people write and say things about me, it's personal to me. It always will be. It always will be. When people make personal attacks on me, what I've done, with no balance, Coach Huggins is a pretty good coach. I've got a good record against him. He wasn't in there, though. I guess he's not that good a coach.
Hey, Jim,
You can ask your question, bud. Yeah.
have you been treated unfairly, do you think?
I don't think it's ever fair to take a snapshot. It's like you write, what? I'll guess, 100 articles a year for the paper? 150, 200. So if somebody looks at 6 or 7 of them and says, these are bad, is that good? Is that a good judgment of your career?
Well,
No, I don't think it is either. I don't think it is either. I really don't. I really don't. I don't think that's the way you judge people or coaches or players. I don't think that's the way you do it. But that's the way it's done around here. Doesn't mean I'm going to like it. Doesn't mean I'm going to stand up here and just let it go. Because when I let things go like that, there'll be time for me to leave. People write and say, he's lost, he's too old. I've heard that. It's been written. It's been said. Geez, I'm 10 months older than I was when I won Coach of the Year in the country. I must have really got hit by something in the last 10 months, huh?
Well, Jim,
I got to give you more to talk about. See, you write all this to get more. And what I meant about the 1/10, the 1%, that's the people that call in talk shows, because I have a talk show. I do 2 hours. I get 10 calls a night. Not all from Syracuse. Just say they're all from Syracuse. They're not. 10 calls a night. That is less than 1/10 of 1% in Syracuse that call the talk show. And that's the only point I made. I didn't say they're bad people. I didn't say they weren't smart. They didn't have a good point. They have great points, some of them. You have great points. My mother-in-law listens to you, which really, I try to talk to her, but she said you were very fair. So that's good. I'm glad to hear that. But I just was making a point about the number of people that are involved. That's all.
if Pitino lost to you 7 times,
6. He lost 6 to me.
all right, you don't think they were writing about him?
Well, how many is John Beeline a pretty good coach?
Yeah.
What's his record against me, Donna?
No idea.
Well, then you don't know your business.
Why would I know that? Why would I know John Beeline's record?
Well,
When was the last time
if
played
you,
John Beeline?
Mike, do you know this year? Mike, do you know?
I don't think he's ever beat.
Yeah, you don't think.
Well, I don't want to.
You're right. You're right. You're right. That's the way they work here. They think that's cute.
Hey, Jim,